So what I want to show you guys here is the anatomy of a Republican lie and smear campaign. You're about to see how brazen they are when they want to shift the narrative and they want to win, right? So the NRCC is, of course, an arm of the Republican Party. Their Twitter bio here says, the NRCC is dedicated to defeating the socialist Democrats and taking back the House. So I think this is the arm run by Rick Scott, the Florida Republican senator. I think this is what it is. I don't know if it's the RNC though. It might be a different, Republican Party group that he runs, but I think it's this. Anyway, there was a whole scandal about how Rick Scott was scamming the fuck out of everybody. He was like spamming people and doing misleading things to try to raise funds for the Republican Party, and it actually led to a decrease in funding to the Republican Party. But anyway, this guy, Scott Stedman, who's an investigative journalist, he dug into an ad that the NRCC is running against a guy by the name of Jay Chen. Now, Jay Chen is running for Congress in, I believe, California. California's 45th district, okay? I want to show you the ad they're running against him, and then you're going to see what this guy said in context. And this is astonishing. It shows you that, look, and this is a problem I have too. Oftentimes what I do is I take people at face value. So if somebody says to me, no matter what their political persuasion is, if they say, look, I believe X, then it's like, okay, you believe X. Like, that's my default position until, I have a reason to believe otherwise, that you're some sort of nefarious person or a grifter or, you're lying or whatever, right? But there are it's just true. There are political actors out there that are not honest. They're not honest at all. And so they're just lying. And they know they're lying, but they don't care. Because in their mind, it's like, I'm working towards a broader truth. And so the ends justify the means. So I will do anything and everything I can to get to the end goal. Even if that means lying in the process. And they would maybe even argue, if they're being honest, that I think it is justifiable to just lie. Because ultimately, winning is the most important thing, and, controlling the direction of society is more important than something gross and icky like the truth getting in the way. So anyway, here's the ad that the NRCC is running against this Democrat who's running for Congress. Watch this.
Some politicians think they should control your child's education.
We're trying to indoctrinate our students in communism.
Politician Jay Chen mocks, but Chen led efforts to bring Chinese communist propaganda to schools, a program reportedly funded and run by an arm of the Chinese Communist Party. Some politicians think they should control your child's education.
So again, listen to, here, I'll play it one more time, the first part of it. Listen to what they clipped him saying.
Some politicians think they should control your child's education.
We're trying to indoctrinate our students in communism.
We're trying to indoctrinate our students into communism. This is what they have him saying. All right, now, credit to this investigative reporter who was like, that doesn't sound right. Let me go and see the original video and see what dude actually said. Watch this.
I'm going to be a recipient of some of these attacks, unfortunately. They're going to be claiming that because our school district was teaching Chinese, that meant we were trying to indoctrinate our students in communism. Literally, that will be one of the points of attack that they're going to come up with. I'm going to be a recipient of some of these attacks, unfortunately.
So in context, what he's saying is, because in, I guess he was on a school board or something, or had some position that impacts education policy, and he was like, in the area there are maybe Chinese immigrants, and so in the school they want to offer, instead of just having the the language options of like Spanish, Italian, French, whichever ones are usually on the menu, they wanted to add Chinese there, right? Makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with learning Chinese in school. And he says, just the fact that we're teaching Chinese, they're going to accuse me of being like communist. And that's literally exactly what happens, and they fucking lie and totally take him out of context to prove it. Let's watch this again. It's really astonishing how far these people go.
I'm going to be a recipient of some of these attacks, unfortunately. They're going to be claiming that because our school district was teaching Chinese, that meant we were trying to indoctrinate our students in communism. Literally, that will be one of the points of attack that they're going to come up with. I'm going to be
incredible. So these assholes absolutely lied and smeared this guy. And look, the argument they're making is like, ooh, scary foreigner. Chinese? Controlled by the Chinese Communist Party? Communist? And in fact, there's not even like the argument by implication. It's just like, here's a clip of him saying, we're teaching the kids communism. But he didn't say that. He didn't fucking say that. He said, we're teaching them Chinese, and because we're doing that, they're going to say, hey, you're a communist. This is so fucking dirty. And look, this is what happens when they have no ideas to run on. I don't know who his Republican opponent is, but whoever, they don't have any ideas to run on. They don't have anything. What do they have? Just muck up endless culture war tripe garbage, right? Get people to fight over culture war bullshit. And by the way, the Republican position on those culture war issues is usually super authoritarian. Look at 157 of them in the House voting against gay marriage. Look at 195 voting against the right to contraception. Look at them overturning Roe versus Wade, right? And then outside of that, on economics, it's just cut taxes for the rich and deregulate. So basically, they are lying to get in power to serve the rich, billionaires, corporations, and crack down on social freedoms. That's what it is. Now, I try to stay away from these, good guy versus bad guy narratives because I think they're simplistic. I think the world is full of shades of gray. It's not just black and white. But when you look at something like this, an instance like this, you know what? Maybe I'm fucking wrong. Maybe it is just black and white sometimes. Anybody who would lie that brazenly has zero fucking integrity. They're not honest actors. It's not a reasonable disagreement. They're just fucking liars, and they're lying on purpose, and they know they're lying, and they don't care. They don't care. Incredible. I hope this guy gets a massive fundraising boom as a result of this. Jay Chen for Congress. I don't know anything about his other positions, but what I do know is these motherfuckers are lying about him in the most grotesque way imaginable. And they do that because they got nothing else to fucking say. None of the things they actually believe and would support and would push for are popular. So, ooh, scary foreigner, communism, communist Democrats. The problem with the Democrats is not that they're communist. The problem with the Democrats is that the dominant strain in the party is still neoliberal corporatism. They are status quo managers. They do tweaks around the edges. They don't go as far as they need to go. They're not even social Democrats. That's the problem with the Democrats. But that problem is nothing compared to this rising tide of lying fascists, as you're seeing right here. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.